Hi, friends. So, do you remember last year when Jonah Hill, this guy, uh, got in a little bit of trouble because his ex girlfriend leaked some messages that the two of them sent to each other? And Jonah Hill wasn't, he didn't come across great, let's say. The short answer is that his girlfriend was a surf instructor and he was basically just trying to be controlling, saying, I don't want you being around other dudes. And that's what caused their relationship to fall apart. I would encourage you to look into it more yourself to come to your own conclusions. But basically, Jonah Hill didn't come across great there. He came across as controlling. I, I don't know if that quite crosses the line to abusive, so I don't want to call it that, but I did see other people call it abusive, and or at least attempted to be abusive. And yeah, it wasn't good. I don't like what he did, and I'm not going to defend him. The only thing that I will say that no one else seemed to bring up is that it's pretty clear his actions came from a place of really deep insecurity. Because think about it, when Jonah Hill was a kid, he was a fat, dorky looking weirdo. And pretty much all his early movie roles are based around that. It's, hey, look at this guy, he's a fat weirdo, but he's also funny. Watch Superbad, which you should watch Superbad just because it's a really funny movie, but like just watch that and then watch how Jonah Hill acts throughout that entire movie. That is pretty much all of his early roles, and that's probably how he was seen by not just society at large, but all his actual friends and peers. What I'm saying is, he didn't get attention from girls when he was 17. I seriously doubt that he got attention from girls when he was young. And now that he's older, he's actually a much better looking dude now. He's lost a lot of weight. He's dressing better. He's got money. He's famous. Like, yeah, he's probably swimming in pussy if he wants it. However, that insecurity isn't gonna go away. Like, he's always gonna feel like the weird fat kid that no one liked. So, while, again, I'm not gonna defend his controlling actions towards his girlfriend, that's where it comes from. Like, that's where that sort of thing comes from psychologically. Is like, he's insecure and he feels like if he doesn't have control of the situation, she's gonna realize, oh, okay, this guy's a fat loser, and then just fuck off and find some better dude. And I considered making a video about this at the time, but I just wound up not doing it. But I'm doing it now because I basically found the opposite situation. It's not with a famous person this time, it's just with some rando on Reddit, but the post has gone somewhat viral on other social media, and some people are trying to defend the perpetrator of the controlling actions this time, so I think it's just fair for me to point out that it's basically the same. Basically, I'll just put it up here if you want to read it. Lady posted on Reddit saying that her husband has a lot of solo hobbies like Legos and stuff, and sometimes he tries to get her to spend time with him doing that, other times he just does it on his own. And recently she blew up at him, calling him a loser, saying he needs to get a social life and that his hobbies are stupid and lame. And now he's giving her the cold shoulder and he's becoming distant and sleeping on the couch and stuff, and she's wondering what to do. Now, here's the thing. I think it's okay for that guy to divorce her at this stage because she straight up said that she questioned why she married him to his face. Like, this woman, from what I am seeing here, it doesn't look like she actually, excuse me, I'm still sick. It doesn't look like she actually loves her husband. It looks like she loves the idea of what she thinks she can break him down and mold him into. Because just like with Jonah Hill and similar dudes, they don't want a woman who is like submissive and I don't know, like just a regular homemaker who'll stay home and raise kids. They don't want someone who's like that to begin with. They want a woman who is free-spirited and independent to begin with, and then they can just put them in a box and put the box away somewhere. Like that's their actual desire. Whereas this woman, this is kind of the opposite of it, where she wants to find a man who is comfortable being by himself. Like, from what I can see here, most of her husband's hobbies that she mentions are solo hobbies, and she said he doesn't have much of a social life, so he's probably okay being by himself, and he probably was before they got married, but she wants to make all of his happiness and everything just dependent on her. And the fact that his happiness isn't dependent on her, that he's okay without her, is what's driving her nuts. She doesn't want to marry an awkward nerd who is fine being by himself. She wants to marry an awkward nerd who's fine being by himself and then take away everything that allowed him to be fine by himself so that he can be dependent on her, and now she's the only thing that brings him happiness. Like, that level of power and control, it's different from what Jonah Hill was trying to do, but it's the same basic idea. And it probably does still come from a place of insecurity on her part. I can't say as much about it because I just don't know much about the person who posted this, but I feel pretty confident saying that, yeah, she probably also feels like she was unwanted and unneeded in the past, and now she's trying to force it on someone. And I'm not saying it makes it okay, I'm saying that's where it comes from. And most people seemed to understand that this lady was in the wrong and that her husband was right to be upset with her, but there were some people. Some of them are probably just dumb. Some of them were definitely being disingenuous and were just ignoring it and were saying stuff like, oh, well, clearly the guy is just playing with Legos all the time, not spending time with his wife. That's why he's upset with her, and like just ignoring the part where she openly questioned why she married him, you know? And there were some people who were acting like it wasn't a big deal and trying to defend the woman here. And in a stunning coincidence, it was mostly radfems. Who would have thought? The same people who, before the American election results were even in, were trying to blame young men for what happened, even though young men didn't really cause the results of the election. It's almost like they were just looking to pin the results on a demographic that they already didn't like or something. You don't have to take my word for it. There's a lot of different groups of people who are already, and for several weeks have been, trying to blame the results on one specific demographic of people, and every time they do that, it's a demographic that they already expressed dislike for. Isn't that a stunning coincidence? But yeah, pretty much, I don't have a whole lot else to say past this point. Just, you already know, I hate radfems. I think they're terrible people who believe disgusting things, and I guess if you wanted me to say anything here, it would be men and women are both pretty terrible sometimes, and if you don't acknowledge when both of them are being terrible in similar ways, then that just makes you look hypocritical, and when you're being hypocritical and only attacking one side, that does push people away from your side and into the arms of people who are going to be more sympathetic to them, which at this time means people like Andrew Tate and the right wing, who their beliefs and their everything is not going to help young dudes or older dudes or anyone really, but at least they're pretending to empathize with men when they go through difficult situations, like their wife telling them that they're questioning why they even married them because she wants to be controlling. I don't know. I don't have a strong closer for this. I just kind of wanted to talk about this, and I kind of wanted to tie it into the Jonah Hill thing. That's about all. Have a nice day.